Jordan, here's the first go at the conveyor. If you look, a little bit of a gap right now in between here, but basically this is the incline conveyor that is on eBay right now, with an extra 4 foot put into here, so it's been stretched an extra 4 feet, and that would be $3,500 for the conveyor part itself, plus then an extra 75 a foot for the 4 feet that has to be stretched. So that would add, an extra $300. So $3,800 for that part. And then this part over here, we'll address the gap here in a second. This part over here, this is a 190 ABEZ. It's actually going to be a motorized section, a 10-foot section. And then here is a 6-foot section added to it. And so this would all be one long motorized conveyor. And so the reason for that is to control the descent of this, so that when you get a box on there, it doesn't rush to the bottom. The problem is super lightweight boxes would be stuck up here. Super heavyweight boxes would be rolling down as fast as they could and crash over the end of here. But right now, if you look, this is it at 44 feet from this point here to that point there. And that point, if you look, is actually 4 feet from the wall. So, and if you look, here is your where we talked about, which would be right smack dab in between these two doors. So anyway, and so there is that, and then these two sections here, that would be 16 feet worth of line drive Hytrol 190 ABEZ conveyor. And then what I'm looking at doing for this section here, to fill this gap, is that there's two good potential options. One would be where you would have this exact same kind of setup right here to fill the gap, an 8-foot long motorized section, because you'd have to have a motor to it, which would mean there'd be a box stuck under here, which I don't really like that option. Right now, as it is, if I can fill this gap, you've got about 9.5 feet in between that pole and this pole, and if we wanted to, we could move a pole over here or add another, large stand like that. But the other option that I'm looking at right now is that I've got a section that if we can, this right now is about 2 feet, give or take. And if we stretch it and put a 10-foot section in here for this incline conveyor, I actually have a section for that. What that would do is, that would, of course, add another another 75 a foot for that 8 feet, so there's another $600. And then I looked into it, and to machine the holes that have to be to allow this to adapt, then that would add extra $250. But what that would do, if you look for a second here, just give me 1 second, we're going to actually take this and stretch it, and see if this will move, so that stretches it to about 8 feet. And if you look, I'm not so worried about it overrunning a little bit, but if we stretch it straight, actually I don't care about that, then we're going to just move this all the way out here, and then what I want to do is I'm just going to type in that we want it so, oh, for some reason that actually did it. So okay, anyway, so what we're looking at is, by adding an extra 8 feet or whatever in here, then that's going to end up closing this gap. So and it's going to look a little bit different than that, but the goal of it is so that, as this conveyor starts off here, rolls up here, and then all the way through here, then that will actually all be the same powered belt conveyor all the way over. And the two really good things about that, one is that it saves at least $600 by not having an extra motorized section, saves not having to have an extra electrician because you only have 2 motors for the whole conveyor, and then 3 is that it reduces your overall height here, so that, or increases the amount of height that you have so that you can get a forklift through there. So anyway, but this would all be a belt drive conveyor, and then once you get up here, then this would be your accumulating conveyor that only gives you about 16 feet. I was expecting a little bit more than that, but if you look with 44 feet here, you don't really have the space and luxury to have like a lot of extra space, but that would give you about 9 to 10 feet in between these two. So if we need to, I mean, we could always just take this and move it closer to the wall, gain an extra 4 feet, add an extra 4 feet here, and then slide that incline down a little bit so that you would then have 20 feet of accumulating conveyor. So anyway, as far as the numbers, as far as what I got for this, this little short stand would actually be all the way up there to give it proper support all the way through. But I basically came up with the base Hytrol conveyor would be about $3,500. That's what's on eBay. The stretching of the section of the conveyor where you are stretching it right here, adding an extra 4 feet, that adds another $300. If you stretch the top horizontal by 8 feet plus machining, that'd be 600 plus an extra 250, so that'd be 850. If you have the motorized 10-foot section plus the 6-foot extension for it, would be another 2,000. And then the stands for underneath of it. So you've got 2 tall 10-foot stands, one medium stand that goes in between just to give it proper support right here, and then one short stand there. But that's pretty much what I got for a first go around. So like I said, if you can have this stretched 8 feet, then that would give you a nice belt conveyor. It doesn't give you a whole lot of accumulating conveyor. And then on the end of here, I would just put, honestly, a table, or you could put a stop block here, and that would stop it. The one other thing, if you look at it, that you might need an option, depending on if your person over here is loading boxes like crazy and gets it all loaded up here, and this person steps away on a break or goes away or doesn't notice it, you only got 16 feet worth of accumulating conveyor there. And so you might want to have a photo eye switch put up here with a timed relay. And what that would do is that if this photo eye gets blocked more than, say, 5 seconds, which would be an extremely long box, then what it's going to do is it would have the ability to shut off all of the powered belt conveyor. So it would stop it from actually cramming a ton of boxes here until this person has the ability to catch up. And I mean, if we did that, then that would add an extra $400. Basically it's a banner photo eye that would go across here. It would be a 24-volt power supply that's a stable industrial power supply, a relay, and a timed relay, so that it would then have the ability to, and a contactor that would actually alter this. But right now, I've got 2 switches that are included in these, which are just manual rotary turn-on switches. But that's what I got for a starter. So, I mean, if you look at it, this is a simple bridge. This is about as simple as you can possibly get, and actually still do the job. And you don't want this to be a powered belt conveyor on the end of it, because then this person right here would actually have to pull the boxes off at the exact same speed at this person here. If for whatever reason it wasn't there, she or he wasn't there, as it was coming down, it would either drop the box right off the end of the conveyor, or it would end up having to crunch and grind up your box using a conveyor to do it, which sadly enough is actually fairly efficient with an incline conveyor. But that's what I got, Jordan, for a starter. I mean, if any of it looks bad or any of it looks good, let me know. Give me some feedback and we'll talk to you there. I'll talk to you later. Bye.